Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Friday class. I have a special guest today. Hi, Rachel Mallis. How's it going?
Hi, how are you guys? Well, how are
I,
you?
I
How's
am good.
everyone?
How's everyone?
Tell
We
me
are
in the comments.
we are happy to be here, and we are going to play around with our December 2025 Sam's Bead box, the Emerald City box. And when I was coming up with, okay, who do we want to make jewelry with this box? It was a no-brainer. I knew I had to call you. Why might I have had to call you, Rachel?
I don't know. It could be it could be that maybe a certain movie we had been talking about came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you knew that I was reading your story about how you were a big Wizard of Oz fan
Mm-hmm.
as a kid, and I also was. I had like five
No.
VHS tapes I cycled through in my bedroom, and like one was like the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap, The Wizard of Oz, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
Yes.
Factory, and like Cinderella or something.
So
I've
good.
seen them all hundreds of times, but by far, like Willy Wonka and the Wizard of Oz, over and over and over. I had a
Oh.
pic. I just thought about it, and like one Halloween, I dressed up as Glinda when I was a kid. So,
Amazing.
um, so it's really cool. I'm sure for you too, as like a lifelong Wizard of Oz fan,
Yeah.
getting to see, the backstory, maybe the unauthorized backstory, but an imaginative backstory, I think is really cool. Um,
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz, this world is something that we have both loved for a really long time. Yeah, reading the books, watching the movie, those songs from the movie, and then now it's like coming back into this, into the main stage as everyone is seeing the Wicked movies. It's just like we're all just. I hope everyone is getting to fall in love with this world just like us. And so we're going to make some jewelry to be a part of this world. So I
yeah.
sent you off our Emerald City box, which is meant to have that kind of art deco, just very luxurious feel. It's, the sparkling emeralds, the sparkling gems of the city. And so I sent that off to you, and you have started an earring design. So what did you come up
Yes.
with?
This box, I was really excited. Well, when Sam's bead shop offers to send you a bead box, you of course have to say yes. But then what you don't know is that they also don't really tell you what it is beforehand. Like I didn't get a picture or anything.
No,
And so I'm like sitting here and I'm like, what is this thing gonna be?
all I said was
Like
I
they
think you'll
know
like
me.
it.
They
Yeah.
know me. So like I feel like it wouldn't be anything like totally out of my realm. But I'm like, I was really excited to see this because they plan their themes way in advance. Like they're
Yeah.
well, definitely on next year already because it's the end of the year. But
Yeah.
yeah, way in advance. So that was like some pretty meticulous planning. And I actually feel like it would be a beautiful sister box to the Wonderland box.
Yeah, your box. It does have
Yeah,
it
uh,
goes with that vibe.
yes, it does. It reminds me a lot about that. So when I was looking through, the question was to tell you about the earring, right?
Yes, yes. I love this
I was
backstory.
like, oh, I went on a tangent. What was
No,
the
I love it.
question again? So when I was going through the box, I was excited to see the hot air balloon charms, and I was thinking, oh wow, I love that shape. And then of course, crystal quartz is like one of my favorites. And I was like, okay, what if I did the crystal quartz on the top of the hot air balloon? A, gorgeous. B, not really an hour-long class. So I was like, okay, no. What if I wrapped around the crystal quartz? That's a great idea. I was so excited about it, and that is all I had. And I went, we're gonna have to figure something else to finish this out. Like you totally can just wrap around it and you'll see how. But
You
I
took
gotta
it
like,
another level. Yeah.
yeah, I need a big earring. Um, so it needs to be. So then I was searching through, and these were packaged so well that I honestly like totally forgot about them. And I'm going back through after I've beaded this, And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do on the bottom? Am I going to make another loop or whatever? And I'm going back through all of the little bags. And I was like, stop.
Yeah.
This is too perfect. I was like, is it going to go together? Like, because I'm going to think it's too perfect and then it's not going to go together. But then it did. Amazing. Wonderful. And so we're going to brick stitch around this bead. This is a technique that I learned from the wonderful Danielle Bix. She just really makes seed beading so approachable. And I modified it a little bit, and it'll be interesting seeing it on, well, I would say it's a little bit more challenging doing it on the faceted quartz, just because it's a little bit more domed, I think, than the check glass, but it's a very similar process, and it's also a little smaller. But I was so psyched to see it worked. And like every time I pulled something out to put with it, it just kept going together. And there was another bead in the box that I felt like I was debating using in addition to, so we're going to be using these check glass with this awesome green coating. And we have the hematite. Yeah. And they just so happen to be like the exact same size, basically. So it was perfect. I think I was thinking of adding the garnet on there. This is garnet, right? Yeah. Which I love. And I have this in like another size. And I was like, oh, I have this in like every size because I love it so much. Anyway, so everything just came together so great. And then
those are all the pieces. I'll just give a shout out. Yeah, those are all the pieces from the box. And then I just also passed along to Rachel Mallis our seed bead mix that matches this month's box. So folks can purchase this separately. Or, I mean, you can use any 11-0 seed bead you have.
Oh, yeah. Any would totally work. This just so happened to match perfectly. And I loved that the gold brought out some of the gold from...
from that hematite,
and even like the flashes of the Preciosa crystal, the way that they go with this coating on the check beads was so spectacular. And then with the hematite blended in, and it was just perfect. So yeah, you could totally just use like whatever gold seed beads. You could use black. You could probably, I don't know, use clear or something. You totally use whatever you want. But I love the bead mixes that Rachel puts together. The seed bead mixes, they're fantastic. I use them all together, or I use them like one bead at a time. As someone who's, I incorporate them a lot into non-seed bead work as well, which is why it's so nice that there's such a color variety in them.
Yeah.
It's like buying like 4 little sample packs in one.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, in this mix, I think we originally designed it to go with our citrus celebrations box. So Deb Floros helped me design this one. And I was like working, okay, I can come up with a new mix for this box. But then I was just like, well, this one we already designed, like it just makes sense again. So I have brought it back, restocked it. So
yeah, it has like a pearl and a gold, and then it has like, I think,
it has like 2 different types
lined,
of
like yellow is what it looks like. But they just blend so seamlessly. Like you don't really know at first they're 2 different beads. So it's like 2 really pretty different shades of gold almost.
All right. Well, I want to start crafting. So we know our beads. We're going to grab some thread and needle, and we're going to learn how to make these. So take it away.
Yes, I'm like just now realizing I was using like sewing beading needles, and I'm like, do I have real beading needles?
Oh no, yeah, that's over to you.
I was like, no wonder I was having a difficult time. Although
actually, those would be very sharp, I would
think. Be good. Oh yeah, look, these are very sharp.
Those are sharp. Yeah, we don't need to do that.
Yeah. So I'm using Wildfire, or you could use Fireline. This one is the 0.008. And I was telling Rachel earlier that I used the 0.006 when I did it the first time, and I really like how it turned out, but I was finding that I was kind of stabbing the needle through it a little bit. And I want to see how it looks with the 0.008. So we're gonna compare and contrast.
Okay,
And
so we're using a slightly thicker one. Hopefully we won't have any issues like, with our with it being too thick and like the multiple passes through the beads. That'd be my
oh
only
yeah, this
worry.
is thicker, yeah.
That is my only worry with using a thicker one than
I
last
think
time.
I had like a dyslexic moment, and now I'm thinking that, and I thought this was, I thought it was thinner. So
Oh,
okay,
no problem.
scratch that. I just
Okay.
picked up the 0.006 off the floor. I don't like my theory anymore. We're going back to the 0.006.
Sounds good. I was just like, going thicker is just to me that's a little bit of a risk.
In my brain, I was like, oh, the zeros were tripping me up, which is funny because I've been doing Duolingo math and I'm very good at it, but not IRL, I guess.
So good. All right.
I
and how long?
Like one strand of this left, so we're just gonna use this whole piece. But when I made the first one, I cut it about like arm's width, so probably about, I don't know, like
I know. Is that like, whatever it is.
I
know.
like to have what?
Yeah, I tend for this kind of thing. I have a habit of cutting that long. I find in the end it probably only uses like a half of only really one arm span. But I'm just like you. I'd rather just cut the whole.
It's so much easier to, just have a long tail, which is what I usually end up doing, is I put a lot of it into the tail in case I need to weave it back in a lot. But it's so much easier to just cut way more than to try and weave it in later. And I don't really love to knot in the middle of pieces. So, and I'm sure that's just purely because Danielle doesn't really, and I like to learn from Danielle. So, but,
would you lift the camera up a little? That might help.
Yeah. Let me lift the camera up. And give me one moment because I'm going to turn off the heat because I am sweating. My desk is right next to the window and it's like 20 degrees here, but so I was cold, but now I'm not anymore. Okay.
All right, that looks good.
That is
that'll work well.
A better amount. Okay. So to begin with, we are going to grab our quartz. And I will note that you can do this in 2 steps if you wanted to. So after I'm doing it the more difficult way. I did not use glue, and then I glued it at the end. That is by far the more difficult way. And you'll see why. And I'll explain it more as we go. So I've got my thread going through. All right. I feel like that's distracting.
I see you're leaving a bit of a tail there.
Yes. So this is a pretty long tail, actually. It will get in our way a tiny bit, but I feel like it's better to have more than you need. And also I was at the end of my spool, so I didn't cut this. So it's actually like much longer than I wanted it to be. So I've gone through the bead once, and now I'm going to go through it again so that we're almost we are making a loop around it. So what we're doing is we're creating thread bridges that are going to lie alongside the sides of the quartz. And I'm going to go through one more time. You could really go through kind of as many times as you want, but I feel like 2 is fine. So after the second one, it stays a little better. So we're going to be sewing around these thread bridges. And I'm going to do it 2 more times, but on the other side. If you are having trouble like keeping the tension on it, you can always just tighten it right after you've done both of them. So if this was loose right now, it would be fine. I can tighten it in a minute because there's not a lot on there. So it's pretty easy to adjust at this point. Now we are around, and it goes like fairly fast. But that said, it is a tiny bit tricky. At this point, if you wanted to, you can squeeze these like two together and put a tiny dot of glue to like keep it from moving on each side, but you're only going to want a tiny dot because we're going to need to sew around it. So if there's more on there, it's definitely going to get in your way. But that would definitely help you with the next part to have to keep from adjusting it as much as you'll see I am doing. That said, I like the flexibility not gluing it provided me, which is why I chose to do it this way. So to begin, we're going to grab 2 beads. I wanted an alternated pattern, and it just so happened to work perfectly, uh, which I was really pleasantly surprised about. So I've got the 2 beads on there, and this is just coming straight up out of the hole. And I'm going to start on the side that I wrapped first, not the one I just wrapped. So you can tell which one you just wrapped by like loosening it. So I'm going to take my needle and go underneath on the other side. And the reason I'm doing it on the opposite side is because it has a lot more tension because we did it first, whereas the side we just did doesn't. And I've also got the tail for the other side in my hand. And if the tail was in your way, you could also wrap it around your finger and it will give a little bit more tension and keep it from moving around so much. So I've gone underneath the thread.
And this is where the magic starts to happen.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which way you go. Just know which way you went for the next step. So you've gone under. And now you want to go back up through the last bead. And when you pull them, you will now have these 2 beads on here. This one's going to be a little bit wonky for a little while, but we'll come back to it at the end. So now I'm going to go 1 bead at a time, and we're going to keep doing this. So you could go under this way, you can go under that way, whatever way is easier for you. I find it easier to go towards myself. And you really want to make sure, especially if you haven't glued it, that you have a good grip on the quartz, especially near where the edges are, so that the thread doesn't slip off. If the thread slips off, you will be able to fix it, but it was kind of a pain, if I'm being honest. So better to just and I'm sure it will happen and you'll get to see it. So we've got we've gone underneath, we have the green check bead right here, and I'm going to go back up through the underside of that bead. And I'm going to maybe come this way because I'm struggling right now. My hand is shaking. I'm on screen, right? Okay, great. I forget where the camera is sometimes. Yeah, did I just do that right? Maybe.
I was hoping that wouldn't make a knot going from the other way.
Yeah, you know what it was is that I just kind of like overlapped them a little bit. I think it's fine. Maybe, or perhaps I have.
Which one? Right. Just figure out which side is supposed to be the top versus the bottom. Yeah, we might have gone in the opposite.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I didn't do that a single time when I was doing it. So I'm just, oh, you know, I got it crossed. That's what happened. Okay. It's because I got it crossed like around the bead. All right. So there we go. Okay, so I'm back through. I really do know what I'm doing. I did the first one. This didn't happen a single time on the first one. Okay. And it looks like my tension was getting a little loose because again, I do have that thread in my other hand. So if you wrap it around your finger, like I said, it can help keep the tension. Or I suppose you could put a seed bead on the bottom, but it's gonna be in the way in a minute, so I wouldn't do that personally.
Yeah, we're essentially just creating this colorful border around our quartz bead. Just give it much more flair, which I love.
Yes. Okay, so now I've threaded on another hematite. I'm gonna go under the bridge thread. The worst, I would say the bad part about having a lot of thread is that I always have tools nearby and it always gets caught on them, like without a doubt. Without a doubt. It's like, did you want these flush cutters in your working space right now? All right. There we go. It's a little finicky getting if you're having trouble with the tension,
This
getting
is where
under.
you might want to come up from the front. I don't know. I think when you came up from the back is when it was a little easier to get knotted up, but
yeah, I just, you know what, the way I had my like arm twisted is what the problem was. There we go. All right. Now, another one. We're doing the green. So what I was saying is like the tension right here on these threads. This is why it kind of gets slipped off. The tension is a very delicate balance on them. Too tight, and I'm not going to be able to get my needle under, and then I'm going to have to finesse with it once I do get it under. Too loose, and it's, you know, too loose right now. It probably wouldn't be the end of the world because you could tighten it, but it will slip off the side, which we don't want either. So there we go. Just kind of tightening.
And we might have said this earlier, but just to repeat it again, the stitch that we're doing today is brick stitching around a bead. So if you're new to seed beading, you might want to try starting with just looking up some tutorials for just a basic brick stitch. And then this is kind of just that maybe more advanced beginner into intermediate, where you do that same technique of brick stitch, but now you're doing it around another bead. And it's one of the first one of the techniques I learned early on because I just love the look of it too. I just think it's a really like quick way to make something feel really special.
I think that, yeah, that's exactly what I like about it too. Cause I am typically, you know, as you know, I do a lot of wire work, and I do some stringing too. Don't get me wrong. But I don't do like very intricate, like cabochon wrapping wire work. And I like that the brick stitch is almost kind of like doing that. So like the brick stitch, I can wrap a cab with well, that, I mean, not even brick stitch, I'm sorry, just like seed beading in general. Like I can wrap a cab with seed beading. I can wrap I couldn't probably do this in wire. It would be a lot more difficult. It would involve more glue and like,
but there's something similar to this with wire work, like because you make a lot of like wire, a lot of like taking like a 26 gauge wire and wrapping it around and adding loops. Like, I don't know, there's something kind of similar about that technique. I don't know.
I also have like a sewing background, so I think like this is like not into, I'm like, okay, I can just sew that on there, no problem.
Yeah.
All right, so I've done one side, and the first side is going to be the most difficult just because, you know, you're working on keeping the tension in several places. Once we switch over to the other side, the tension's pretty good because we worked from this thread. If that makes sense. So you're not going to have to like squeeze it as much or worry about it. So now I'm going to pretend like this hole is not here. And I am going to put a bead on my thread, and I'm going to jump over the hole, and just try not to get your tail in your way. Otherwise you will be untangling it. So I'm going to pretend like the hole doesn't exist and thread one of the check beads on here. Now this side, it's more important to make sure that it doesn't slip off again because the tension is like already fairly set. And then you will have to slip it back on, which is more difficult. All right, so we're just going to keep going around. But I'm sure I'll manage to knock it off.
Yeah, since we're using a gemstone you were mentioning earlier, these don't have like a perfectly flat edge. These gem cut coins, there is still a slight roundness to them. If this is your first time doing brick stitch around a bead, it can be easier to use something like a table cut check glass coin, because those tend to have a very like flat and defined edge to them, and so that can help the thread really stay put. So just some,
and I'm also using like beads that, like seed beads, would fit on here a lot better.
Yeah, I guess they'd be a little smaller.
They'd be smaller and like a little bit easier to maneuver, because these are also like they're relatively the same size, but they're not exactly the same size. The check beads versus like the hematite.
Yeah.
So, but if you do that like little dot of glue, it should help a lot. I'm like getting my
No, that's
needle
a cool trick. I actually haven't heard of that idea to add any glue at the beginning. Obviously, you have to be careful.
That's another tip I definitely picked up from Danielle. She has a tutorial on Sam's Bead Shop YouTube where she does a little bit of a similar situation, but on the check.
Nice.
I think that's the video I learned it from.
But I love that this time we're using that gemstone in the center, and then we're using gems and check glass around it. I love when you can show that like we're technically doing seed beading, like we're doing the techniques for seed beads, but like we haven't actually touched any seed beads yet.
No, this is great too, because the holes on all of these are amazing sizes.
Yes, like, true.
I do not need to squint. I have got them. Let's see if I've just done that crazy thing again. Or did I
do? No, you made sure not to.
I got it. It's a little finicky, especially being this small. Okay, but we're almost there actually. This just so happened like to fit pretty perfectly, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Towards the end is like the tricky part.
Yeah, it's probably just like extra tight there.
Yeah, and I actually did better on the tension on this one than I did on the other one. I had it way too tight. Because that is my like go-to, like I do not want to worry about. Okay. So you know what? I need to straighten this top one as part of it. So I thought we were getting another bead and I was like, whoa, the pattern's gonna be messed up. But no, it fits like pretty exact, but then it fits more close together in one spot, and then we'll cover the other spot. It'll be great. Actually, I think this was the little bit of a gap before, and we'll put the little bail there that I made. So now that we've gotten to the end bead, we are going to go through the bead on the other side, the one that's kind of wonky, and we're going to pull him over to our side. But then I am going to go underneath the thread bridge on this little guy's side. So this is the one across the pond. And yeah, I think this is what no, this is going to come out actually. Yeah, no, I'm right. I was like tripping myself up for a second. Okay. And then we're going to go back up through that bead and see if yeah, no, I got it. Okay, great. And you see how that straightened it? Yeah. I was just kind of worried that I was like unwinding it a little bit. But we have so many threads through there. I was like confusing myself. Okay, great. And now we're going to go through all of these beads again so that I know that they're like solid and in place. I don't know why my thread is doing this because I'm not going through it. And I have a feeling that I used this thread for another project and then I unwound it and then I put it back because I do that. Okay, great. So now we're going to go through the next bead. I'm going to go backwards because I just kind of created this anchor and I just want to make sure that this bead that we had to straighten doesn't really lean too much to either side. So I'm going to go back the way we just came from. And ow, back through my finger.
Oh no.
And so we're going underneath that thread bridge. I need to turn this around. It works so much better for me to go But now I've confused myself. It works better for me to go towards myself.
So, oh, you go back through the whole thing?
Yeah, I just like, I don't know, it might be overkill, but to me, it it felt like maybe they shouldn't be hanging on by a single thread underneath. I don't know.
Yeah, you wanted it. Okay. I haven't done that before, but if you got the patience.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. This is an earring, so it doesn't have to be that serious. Is that you subtly being like, hey, let's just skip this part?
Well, are you planning to go all the way around the full circle?
I was gonna.
Well, yeah, maybe we skip that for today and skip to the veil.
All right. Well, let me go. Since I have already started this, let's see. Which thread am I working from? All right.
Yeah,
Let me pick it out. Or we could just thread the
Obviously,
other
that's
side, I
totally
guess.
fine to do as an option. Folks, we can pretend that happened. You know, it's like what they do in cooking shows.
Yes, the magic of the theater.
Yes.
Okay. I should have pulled the needle off first. I don't know why I chose to do it the hard way. Okay, so once we get to this step, hang on.
Sometimes it really feels like we are sisters, even though we are just like pretend jewelry sisters. We are the Rachels. But
why do you
like
say that?
I don't know. It feels like we're bickering like sisters or something.
You're lucky I'm not there. We would throw hands.
Yes.
Okay, but part of the reason why I like to go back through is to get my threads where I want them exactly. Let's see. Okay. So give me 1 second to like orient this.
Yeah. I know I'm throwing you off.
No, you're okay. You're okay. I realized that was like kind of like how I feel like I make a lot of transitions. So like the bail and stuff, I make actually through what am I trying to say? Through going back around, I like add things on. I guess that's my process. I add things on in like the second part around. So I'm just trying to
do what feels right then.
Think about how I did this. Okay.
I mean, at this point, you could just go up through any bead that you want to.
Yeah, I wanted to do and I guess maybe we could instead of doing what I just did. Do I still have a needle on here? Yeah. Okay. Let me go back. I'm going back. Okay, back to the beginning. Now you're going to decide which side you want. So my thread is basically coming from either side of the hole right now. I mean, this one's kind of like underneath the bead, but we're going to pretend it's coming from the hole. And you're going to decide where you want the bail to be. If you want it to be, I kind of just based it on like the spacing of my beads. So on this one, I had a little bit more of a gap because I didn't do a very good job straightening that bead. I think I did a much better job of it on here. So yeah, I just decide where you want that bail to be. We are gonna go, I guess, I think I'm gonna do.
Yeah, you can go up through the hematite. Is that your goal, to be sticking out of the top of either the hematite?
Oh yeah. I'm like hemming and hawing over which side I like better, because whatever side I like better, I think is where I'm gonna put whichever side looks more even on either side of the hole. And actually, I think we were kind of already on it. So we're going up through whatever bead you want to have your bail coming out of.
So yeah, are we working on the top or the bottom of the earring right now?
Well, we're going to be working on the top of the earring right now.
Okay.
So this is the bail. And you could do the bottom first. I think it's a little bit easier to just do, I spilled them everywhere. Do this part before the other part. But it's kind of whatever you think is easier. I say I
Yeah,
think it's easier because then I don't have to like maneuver the crystal in my hand while I'm doing this.
that makes
Um,
sense.
so you're gonna decide kind of how many seed beads you want based on what you like as the spacing. And also how much space you have in between your beads. So if you have a bigger gap like this one, I had used 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. I had used 9 seed beads. I'd actually recommend using an even number. I used 9 because I was like, oh, odd numbers in design are best. But your ear wire would sit much better in between an even number. So do what you will with that. Nobody will be counting your beads. But so, and these are 11 seed beads, and I'm trying to pick them up randomly. What they say about randomness. Oh, so at this point, also, sorry. Once you're done like going around, glue. Just like do a little bit of glue. I like hypo cement because the applicator is really thin. One tip somebody gave me about hypo cement that has made it, I don't want to say like painless to use, but it's made it less painful to use, is storing it right side up, so to where the cap is like up in the air. So if you put it in like a cup, the cap and then the rest of the tube facing down, it keeps it from like like overfilling inside the cap. And it lasts way longer that way. And yeah, I mean, it's still not, yeah, I like hypo cement. I feel like it could be better, but overall, I like it
Yeah, we can
enough
still
to
make a
have
mess.
purchased it multiple times. But anyway, okay. So yeah, if you put some glue down in here, I would recommend doing it on whatever side you feel like is the back. Um, and that will keep it from wobbling around too much. I'm actually like really impressed with the fact that I didn't have to like slip it back on there at all. Just remembering to go slow. Okay, so we're gonna do, I'm curious how it will look. We'll just do the 9 beads again because I don't want to redo the other earring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sure, that's fine. All right, so I've got 9 beads, and then I'm gonna put them through the bead on the other side of the hole. And then I am gonna go under the wire bridge. Why do I keep calling it wire bridge? Thread bridge, jeez.
Thinking like a wire wrapper.
I know. But I don't think I've ever used the phrase wire bridge. So I'm gonna go under the thread bridge and I'm gonna go back up through that bead. This is the check bead. I'm trying not, because mine is not glued. I'm like, please don't fall off. So just being extra gentle with it and dropping it. It looks kind of like a little purse right now.
It does. It's like a little miniature.
Yeah. Something funny Rachel said today. She was like, I feel like you dressed like Elphaba and I dressed like Glinda.
I
She's
know.
got,
Well, I have my like pink and purple on. You were
I
in some
didn't even,
Dorothy
what's funny is I
colors.
didn't even like super think about it. I was already wearing this literally just like around my apartment. All right, this one is like a little tricky, just to get the needle up in there, and I think that's why the tiny needle actually, the very sharp, very tiny needle worked great for that. I'm just like struggling a little bit getting back through the speed.
Yeah, I think I might have saw that it said like size 12 on your container, if that was right. Like,
Oh yeah, it might have been, I didn't even think about that. I was just like, get a different needle. Okay. Oh, you know why I was struggling is because I was hitting the seed bead. All right, and if we
there
were
we
already through one of them, which is what the goal was.
go.
So because I'm going back through them. I like to go back through them at least once because they just look better, honestly.
Oh, I
When you
agree.
go
Yeah, you
back
have
through
to go
them
back to
again.
the seed beads. Yeah.
Besides the like security factor, they just look so much better when you go back through them at least
Yeah.
once.
Agreed.
going to go down
Okay,
through here.
the part of this bale that I was curious about is I've always done my bales like this, but you
Uh-huh.
added some extra seed beads I noticed in the first
Why
one.
is because I was looking at this little thread bridge thing here, and I had like
Yeah,
I I didn't love it, and I was like, I bet
yeah.
I could make it look better. So what I've done is I'm gonna go back underneath this and hopefully do this correctly, and then we're gonna go back up through the bead. Um, but instead of going through the seed beads again, I mean, you can if you want to. You're gonna come out here. So at the top of the bead, if you can see that. So I'm coming out of the top of the hematite and just making sure to keep this tension so that our bale is not like super wackadoodle. And then, so this is a little tricky, but you can do it. So we're gonna brick stitch on this little thread bridge. So you're just gonna grab 2 seed beads, and then you are going to cross them over here, and then let me get to the back side. I guess I could have just flipped this around. Oh well. What do we call it on? A sticker. No. Hopefully I'm like so real for this and everybody else struggles like this with their thread.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so yeah, there's a little tricky, but you can fit 2 seed beads here approximately. And so I'm gonna come underneath the thread bridge right here so in between these 2 top beads, and you're going to pull really slowly and keep your finger there so that your seed beads do not escape through the hole. Then you are going to come through the bottom of the gold bead or whatever bead is on the left. And that is how you get that bead anchored. Then you're going to go through the gold bead or whatever bead is to the left of it. So whatever bead was already on the bale. So I'm going to go through that.
Okay.
Bag
I
sticker
like that
sticking.
addition.
Okay.
That's nice.
And then I'm going to go back on there to the underside of the gold bead. If I can. There we go. So it's anchored, and then I'm going to go through the top of the white bead, and the white bead still needs to be anchored. So we're going to go through the white bead, then we'll go underneath. So using that bottom part as a thread bridge again, and then we're going to finesse our way into the bottom of the white bead. And gold and white bead are just referring to the 2 ones I picked for here. So and then I'm going to go through this bead over here that's already on the bale. And if you wanted to go through the white bead again, kind of like I did with the gold one to pivot around, you can, but you do not have to. So unless the difference in amount of thread is going to bother you, it will definitely straighten this a little bit more. Let's just go through it. So I'm going to go back under the underside of the white bead. Come. See, this would be a reason to skip it. And then I'm going to go back through this gold bead. And when I go through this gold bead, I'm going to go down, back down through the hematite. If you have to come out and then do it again, you can. And by that, I mean, if you have to just go through the gold bead and then thread it through the hematite, you know, whatever's easier. So we're going back down through the hematite. And this is my like secret seed beading hack. See how easy that needle glides when I'm not using my hand? And then after that, we are going to come down through this bottom part. So straight through the crystal quartz again to the other side.
Nice.
So there's our little bale.
Wonderful.
It's funny, it looks different than I did on the other one. Those were like, I guess because those are more spaced apart. I could have done a different one. Like I said, you'll definitely probably want to glue the sides on this just a little bit. So at this point, we are now going to attach our crystal. And but see how easy that slipped back onto? And so you'll want to decide, you would have decided with the glue, but you want to decide which side is going to be the front and which side is going to be the back, so that when we sew on our crystal, we make sure that we do it to the right side. And then for the crystal, you can use more beads. I don't know that I would use less of them. I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 C beads. These are 11 O's. You could probably do 6 if you wanted to too. It just kind of depends. I wanted it to be uptight without like too much movement. If you did 6, it might move a little bit more. So it's totally up to you, and it's really easy to play around with that. Because all you do, all you do is like take it off. It's very easy. So we're gonna get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then figure out which side your thread is coming from. So I guess this is going to be my front. I'm going to stab down through it or thread it on, you know. Violence is not always the answer. 3, 4, 5. And then I am going to come back up through the crystal quartz. So put your needle back on up there. And somehow I managed to go in the way I came out. So, so we're going to undo that, reverse, and figure out what exactly I just did here. All right. So this is where we are. And
which bead are you coming out of? The hematite or the fire polish?
We're out of the quartz right now.
Oh, okay.
It's like somehow got twisted up in here. So we're coming like directly out of the bottom of the bead to make our loop around the whole stitch part itself.
Oh, cool.
Not just the not attached to the bottom of the bead. So there is some movement. It's just not like super pronounced movement. Like I said, you can achieve more pronounced movement with what am I saying? with more seed on the bottom. Okay.
Okay, so you attached it by going in and out of the crystal quartz bead.
Yeah. Okay, and so now we're back coming out of the top of the crystal quartz. And basically, I just want to make you can either like try to tie it off, or you can like go through a few times. So I'm gonna kind of like thread bridge hack up here and like try to slip my needle around. Oh, actually, I think that will just
to catch everyone up. At this point, you've basically finished the design, right? You've added everything you want.
So now I'm at this point, like I'm just gonna weave the threads back in and try to also when I weave the tail thread I had left back in, I'm also gonna go through all of the beads on around the bottom part again to get them, so the seed beads around our crystal, to get them to be a little bit more tight. So right now I'm like just weaving this back in. I do want to go through one more thing, like one more bead at least, because the last thing I did with this thread was go through very loosely. So you just want to make sure it's like tight before you try tying it off or anything. So now that I went through this hematite, it's a lot tighter. And I think I'm going to come back down through this bead. I'll actually be stitched around that, so I know I won't. But you could come down through here. And basically at this point, I'm just weaving the thread in. Another one would be good to do is if you want to go up through the bail again. But actually, I'm going to leave this thread alone, and we're just going to very briefly weave in the bottom thread, or I keep calling it the bottom thread, the tail thread that I left.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I love this
tip. If you just finish up that top thread later off camera, that's fine too.
Yeah. So basically what I'm doing is weaving them in, but I like to cut them at the end. That way, when I'm weaving them in, if I happen to loosen one of them, it's very easy to just pull it, as opposed to if I had like tied it off or whatever, and then I sewed through the knot, and it would just be a conundrum in my mind. So this tail thread is coming directly out of the crystal quartz because that's where we left it. And I'm gonna just go through all of these seed beads down at the bottom and through our Preciosa crystal. And I like weaving in with at least two threads also, because I feel like in my mind, like when I go up through the same areas with them, at least they get kind of like crisscrossed or whatever, and it's more sturdy. The reality is this is an earring, so I feel like your ear would probably rip before the earring, but with like a bracelet especially, you want to make sure that those are really sturdy. Okay, so at this point I went through there, and now I would probably take both of these threads and kind of weave them in opposite directions up through the bail, and then just cut them off down at the bottom, because I have so many threads going through these two beads at the top that if I cut them off there, they're not going to go anywhere. In fact, you can probably see, I think I cut them off right there on this one or down here. But that's it. And you can see the glue on this one a little bit too. So I've tried to face that to the back side. But that's how you do it.
Oh my gosh.
And then I just put an ear wire on there. So super, I don't want to say super simple, maybe not that simple. But I also feel like I feel like it looks a little bit harder than maybe it was. So
wow, those are like earrings you need to like go on the town with. You gotta go to a party.
I love the sparkle in them. That's so fun.
So pretty.
And they really, they do look like, I feel like these are perfect New Year's earrings, honestly.
Yes. I know. Holiday vibes, New Year's vibe, like these. Yeah, these.
I really didn't think it took me that long to make one of them.
Well,
I was like, it's been like 10 minutes. Like
when you're explaining it, you gotta slow down a little.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them though. Thank you so much for showing us how to make these. Those are awesome.
I'm so excited. They're really so I usually make really big earrings, and I feel like for how much smaller these are than the big earrings I make, they still make a humongous impact. That crystal is something else. The way that we wrapped around the crystal quartz, I feel like it's either the same size or like just smaller than the Preciosa crystal, and I feel like it works so well.
Yeah, they mirror each other.
Yeah,
I see that. Well, since we don't have that, hold them. Can you hold them both up? Yeah. I know the other one's not. We have to still tie up the threads later, but let's just see those up close.
I feel like the camera seems to like to do better lighting in my hand. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, no, those are flashing. Those are glowing. Ooh. Beautiful.
They really do. Like, wow.
That's so special. Well, we do not have time for a whole other project, but you did mention that there was a certain other item in the box that you really were inspired by.
Oh, yeah. I was like, wait, what is she talking about?
Do you want to just grab those and just like chat with us? You can throw some beads down. What might you imagine making?
I don't even know. That was part of like the debate, because I feel like I get so excited by teaching projects that I tend to make it like be over ambitious. And I was looking at these and I love them so much. And I'm like, but would I paint them? Would I do like, I don't know what I would do. Um, One of my friends does like UV resin. That could be really cool on them. I love
Yeah.
how lightweight they are, but I was thinking like some sort of necklace, maybe kind of like
Mhm.
this situation. And it could be held by either we could do more seed beading or wire wrapping, although the loops would be a little bit bigger, but I guess you could kind of like wrap in between.
And then you can add
Maybe.
dangles, like, anywhere you want with
Yes,
it.
dangles galore. And then I was
Yes.
thinking like maybe like a chunky chain around the top or
Ooh.
something.
Yeah.
Um I love like the asymmetry of it. I love they're so lightweight.
Yeah.
They're so cool. You could really paint them however you wanted if you wanted to, or you could like a decoupage on them, I bet. Um
Yeah, this was a unique find for the box. We just like the idea of, like, bringing in this sort of the elements of gears to kinda, like, the wizard is, are they magic, or are they truly just a magician, an engineer? And this
Yeah,
kinda
and
speaks to that.
in the stage production of Wicked, at least I think I'm thinking of Wicked. There's like a time dragon, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so.
Like that's one of the
Oh, that's in the book, I think.
is it in the book? Because
Yeah.
that's part of like the set design. So I
Ooh,
don't
I
know.
like
I just
seeing the bringing in some of the vitriol beads. Yeah.
yeah, just kind of like playing around. I love these too. These could
Yeah,
be
this
like
is a
drops all
new
over it.
yeah, this is a new style of melon drop. It's a little bit, like, shorter and squatter, I guess. It's and so
I
it's
like them. They look like almost edible.
yeah, we picked them because they kinda look like air balloons, a
That
hot air
too.
balloon.
That's how I had looked at that. Oh, that would be so oh my gosh, what if you wire wrapped like one
So, like, yeah,
on?
you could do them
That's so
kind of
cute.
facing the opposite way if you want them to look like a hot air balloon, like, hanging
Yeah.
off.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
There's a lot of options. And they have that beautiful rainbow luster on them, which I love.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm seeing the start of something. This feels like a piece of a work of art that could be created.
It's fun. It's fun playing with I love laying things out. I'm not like a great sketcher. I'll sketch things and then they almost never turn out how I sketch them.
Yeah.
So usually I just do like a very rough I forgot about the pearls. I don't know. You
Ooh,
could wire wrap like ooh the pearls since they're graduated, you could find one to fit into like every single hole. But you could wire wrap
right.
across the holes with the pearls. Um
This would be like a sculpture. This is fun to think about.
I love like big sculptural necklaces. They take so long. It's not it never develops how you think they're going to. They're always one of a kind. So it's like never really something you
Mhm.
could really teach in a class unless you want to just like watch someone take something apart 100 times. Um,
Oh, there's
but
something here though. So I'm hoping this
yeah,
inspires somebody and maybe
I'm dying to see what people make with the gears. I
yeah.
think they're so cool.
I mean, there are so
Even
many
if you don't use
different
them for like jewelry, you could use them for like scrapbooking or anything.
true.
They're so cool. Like I want more, and I haven't done anything with these yet, but
Yeah, you're just like, I love them. I need them.
I know they're so cool.
Yeah, they are fun. And they are gonna vary. We got them in this sort of miscellaneous bundle. We were able to like get this great deal on them. And
Wait,
they're
so there's other styles too?
yeah, so not everyone has the exact same styles that you do. People might
Stop.
have the same, they might have different ones. So
Why would
it's a
you
bit of
tell
a
me
surprise.
that? Now I have to get more.
So yeah, lots of fun with those. All right. Well, we are coming up here on an hour. Thank you, Rachel, for teaching us today, inspiring us with this box. I really appreciate you joining
Thanks
us.
so much for having me. I'm excited to see what everyone makes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even
We'll
if
be
you
looking
the
out
exact
on
same
Gem Chat.
as me, they're gorgeous. Yeah, and you should wear them on New Year's.
Yes. Yeah. If you make Rachel's earring design, please post in Gem Chat. If you come up with your own thing, show us. We love to see what you're up to and tell you how much we love it.
Gears in Gem Chat. Post your gears in Gem Chat. I want to see
Rachel's
them.
request.
Whether you designed with them or not.
just flood
I
it
want
with
to
photos.
see them.
Oh yeah, because you want to see what the other styles were. Oh, that's great. All right.
Really grinds my gears that I don't know what they are.
I know. I'm really.
Where's the potato?
You. Yeah. I gotta get. Where is it? I can throw it at you. All right. Well, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful weekend full of creativity and inspiration, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.